Welcome back, Sports Talk Live. You know, football season meets tailgate season. We wanted to get some ideas, some recipes, and for that we call on Sarah Eckert.
Well, I'm very excited to be here with Brandi Key at one of our restaurants, COPPA Osteria, and today we're going to be preparing some tailgate foods with the first home Texans game coming up. So Brandi, first of all, what are we going to be making today?
So we have a couple things. The biggest thing is sandwiches. I think sandwiches are awesome for tailgating because A, you can do them ahead of time if you want to, but you can also do some stuff actually at the site when you're hanging out with all your friends, getting ready for the game. So I've got two different versions today to talk about. We've got a little salad that we're going to do, which will be kind of interesting with tomatoes, especially in season right now, which will be a nice refreshing thing for the game. And then you got to have dessert. So we made a little chocolate cake.
I know I was talking to you earlier about how a lot of tailgate parties I've gone to recently are really kicking it up with the gourmet foods.
Absolutely. I think it's a trend in sports fields, stadiums, all over the place to do something that's a little more, I guess, upscale if you want. But at the end of the day, you know, you want to drink some beer, have some good time with your friends, but you can get you a little healthy too.
Exactly. Well, it's good to have some food that will go well with the beverages, the adult beverages. So what are we going to start preparing first?
I think we'll actually start with this particular sandwich. It's one of my favorites. It's a cold cut sandwich. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your grocery store, you're going to find some ciabatta, whatever kind of cold cut salami. We've got some prosciutto, mozzarella, soppressata, a little bit of COPPA here, some provolone, and then whatever kind of Italian dressing that you feel like is the best, whatever you like. And then we've got just basic ciabatta. And so what we'll do, I'm going to grab this bread knife, is we're going to take the ciabatta and we're just going to cut it in half. Long ways. Now this is the baby version, obviously, of this big boy, which we'll cut into this in a second. But what we're going to do is we're going to open this up and we're going to start with our vinaigrette. So we're going to take some vinaigrette.
And why did you choose this as the dressing?
I chose this one because it's nice and chunky. It's got red bell peppers in it. It's got capers, a little bit of oil and vinegar, some oregano, and I just think it's got the right bite for all of these really awesome meats. So we put a little bit of vinaigrette on the bottom. This one has, like I said, olives, which I think that salty bite's really nice. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these meats and just kind of pile them on. So the bottom bun, we're going to just go mozzarella, and then we're going to do some soppressata. And I like to not be skimpy. A little bit of prosciutto.
A lot of people love a lot of food at the tailgate party.
Right,
so
and then a little bit of COPPA and some provolone, which I think is a nice cheese because it's really soft, tender, tastes really good. So this is all going to go on. And then what we do, and the best part about this, is you make this the day ahead of time.
Oh.
Wrap it up in plastic, grab your saucepan, stock pot, whatever you have in your house, and you're going to press it so it all comes together. You can see how this one's really flat. So what happens when we open it up, so we'll just take a little section out of here, is it gives a chance for all of those flavors to really marry together.
Oh, nice.
And so the vinegar gets all through the bread, all your meats and cheeses kind of come as one. This one's got a little bit of tomato on it. You could put arugula, whatever else you feel like would be good. But you wrap these up, that way you've just got your cooler set. People grab a beer, people grab a sandwich, you're ready to go.
Okay. Now, with the heat and humidity here in Houston, does that kind of make a difference in what kind of food you pick for your tailgates?
I think so. I like to keep it a little lighter, fresher. Part of the reason of having a cold sandwich that's made ahead of time, I think is just, you know, it's a nice refreshing thing instead of something, because it's so hot here.
Right, and it saves some time to have something that you made a day ahead of time.
Yes.
Okay.
So now what we've got is, this is just kind of like a make your own meatball sandwich bar. And so we just got some really nice hoagie bread here. We make meatballs in-house here at COPPA, but you know, your grandmother's favorite meatball recipe, whatever it is that you feel like is the best. And so for this bread, what we're going to do, I'm going to do this to the top, because we're going to make this kind of sloppy.
Okay.
These are our meatballs here. Then it's a really nice tomato sauce, nice and tender. So at this point, you have your pot back on the grill, you put out some stuff for people to make it, and then you go to town. So for this one, I'm going to take...
What do we have here?
So this is just ricotta cheese, and I like it because it's kind of soft, and you can spread it.
Right.
But then the other thing about it, too, is it serves as a barrier so that this doesn't soak through the bread.
Okay.
Easier to hold, easier to carry.
You don't want it to get too soggy.
Not at all. So then, this is the best part. Pull some meatballs out.
Oh, yeah. That's the perfect size bread to fit that.
Yeah, I lucked out on this one. Here we go. And then we get a little bit of sauce. because
Definitely need sauce.
yes. And then it's your choice. We'll do a little bit of Parmesan. We'll do a little bit of mozzarella. I like things spicy, so we'll do a little bit of red pepper flake.
We're in Texas. You have to have spice.
We're in Texas. So that goes onto the plate. Grab a cold beer. You're set to go.
That looks delicious.
Yeah? Cool. So one of the things with this is, and it's nice to do something, you know, for like a side. People always think for tailgating, barbecues, that sort of thing, pasta salad, potato salads. And I get tired of doing things that are mayonnaise based. Again, it's hot
sitting outside.
And sitting outside. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to focus on something that's in season and local, and going with heirloom tomatoes. So, you know, just one of those things, they just taste great, they're good for you. And what we're gonna do is just cut up some of these.
Did you pick these up at a farmer's market?
I sure did, actually. And then, you know, I like to keep things a little bit larger, especially if you're gonna do something outside. Makes it easier for people to get to, pick up.
Okay.
You don't even have to have a fork, you know, if you wanted to, if you keep it a little larger.
Finger foods. That's really popular at tailgate parties.
Exactly. So we have tomatoes, we've got a little bit of oregano, some lemon zest that we'll do over it, and then salt is always important, especially for tomatoes. So you can take something like this. We have all these cool different cuts of tomatoes, different types of tomatoes, and we'll do just a little bit of salt over it.
Is that sea salt?
This is actually Malden salt.
Okay.
It's a flake salt, so it literally looks like a flake. When it hits your tongue, it gives you a burst of salt and that flavor. But the cool thing about it is it doesn't dissolve on the food. So it'll sit here, just kind of take its time, and you get a little crunch from it.
And that's why you chose that salt?
That's why I chose that salt.
Okay.
This is lemon olive oil. You can pick it up in all sorts of grocery stores. We'll put a little bit of lemon olive oil. Tomatoes and lemon go really well together.
Didn't think about that.
Yes.
Right.
We got oregano, which I like to keep things, you know, fresh.
I like this. This looks simple too.
Yes, just tear the herbs. You can actually do this ahead of time. If you do it ahead of time, the tomatoes will start to lose some of their liquid out. So it's really your call. It'll be a little bit of, I say soupier. It'll have more juice in it if you do it ahead of time, but if not, keep it fresh so it's a little bit easier to eat.
Or if you do it the day of, you just prepare it before you head out to the tailgate party.
Before you go.
Okay.
Right before you go. So a little bit of lemon zest over the whole thing. Which always a nice touch. And again, it just keeps things being from not being so heavy. All right, there we go.
And then, of course, we have to finish off with some sweets.
Yes. Chocolate cake, why not? You know, this is just a really nice chocolate recipe. Really, really moist. It looks like it comes out of the package. Promise me, it does not. We make it in-house every day.
We trust you.
We make it in-house every day. But these are fun to just wrap up, put them in some plastic wrap. They go room temperature perfectly. If it's a little hot outside, they'll get a little fudgy and soft.
Right.
And, you know, like what chocolate does. So
how would you store those out at the tailgate party?
You know, out on a paper plate. You could always bring some toppings if you wanted to. Ready Whip comes to mind, which I think is kind of funny, but just setting out a can of Ready Whip, some fruit, people can just make their own little chocolate cake delights.
That is perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time. I can't wait to actually dig into some of this stuff. So
excellent.
We won't pig out on camera here for you, but we appreciate your time.